CDPR is going all in with Phantom Liberty. They just released a brand new expansion teaser at the Game Awards, a first look at vehicle combat, new finisher animations, and a surprise appearance from Idris Elba, who'll be playing a key role in Cyberpunk's next chapter. There's lots to break down from this trailer, so let's dive right in. But if you've been looking for the perfect Christmas present for you or someone you loved, why not go for the ultimate gift and get a gaming laptop from Alienware? Also, another big thanks to Alienware and Nvidia for being the sponsors of this video. You can game, work, or study for hours on end with the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop, combining ultimate mobility with the best performance. The X14 features the best of the 30 series GPUs from Nvidia, which won't disappoint both in and outside gaming. You can make your favorite games visuals almost lifelike with Nvidia's ray tracing technology to realistically simulate the light bouncing across the environment. Games will also move better than ever thanks to the deep learning super sampling tech that boosts the in-game performance using the power of AI without sacrificing image quality. There are many other big advantages, including for competitive gaming, and you'll also get a laptop that stands out from the crowd. So totally check out Alienware's RTX laptop series using my links down below, and I'll give another big thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. Going back on track, the highlight of the new expansion teaser was Idris Elba, who'll be playing the role of Solomon Reed in Phantom Liberty. If the name and or face look familiar, that's because he played key roles in some of the biggest movies and TV series, such as Heimdall in MCU's Thor movie back in 2011, Pacific Rim, and even The Wire. In Phantom Liberty, he plays the role of Solomon Reed, an FIA agent for the government of the United States, and it seems the expansion will have us team up with him to take on an impossible mission of espionage and survival. By the looks of the new teaser, the way we'll get to meet this new character is through our existing contact within the NUSA, the same woman we suspected to be Rosalind Myers, current president of the NUSA from the previous expansion trailer. Well, it seems her story takes a turn for the worse as the new trailer shows her in civilian clothing in some rundown building with V. This could further explain why we see the NUSA presidential transport now crashed at the start of the new trailer, the same one we saw V and this mysterious new construct at the end of the previous teaser intercepting it. But the plot sounds super interesting, with CD Projekt Red throwing around the term spy thriller. In one of the trailer shots, we can see a Ripper Doc applying a new face on V, possibly explaining how we're able to infiltrate the government or possibly even their new rival faction. That we're gonna talk about in just a little bit, but I kinda wonder how this is going to affect character customization now that we technically have a new face. So do we get to change that, or is that something that's going to appear in game menus and screens? But it's from Agent Reed that we get to learn more about this new zone called Dogtown that we'll get to explore or at least visit in Phantom Liberty. If you paid any attention to CDPR's marketing as of late, Dogtown was also hinted during the new radio station announcement from a couple of months ago and was described as, and I quote, the toughest turf in all Night City. So yeah, it definitely looks like the government is going through a full-out war with whatever faction is controlling Dogtown, so much so that Reed wants us to completely burn it to the ground, according to his own words. Judging by the surrounding buildings and unfinished skyscrapers, Dogtown still seems to be located in Pacifica, which reaffirms the expansion new setting from a while back. But the trailer also teases a few new cool features and even new characters that CD Projekt Red has confirmed officially being worked upon in the last Night City Wire. One of them is vehicle combat that we can see in the second half of the teaser. In this scene, there's two vehicles chasing V and then a quick transition to a first-person shootout from inside of this car. Judging by the sound and looks, I'm pretty sure that the weapon we see here is a new type of heavy machine gun or some kind of powerful LMG from Phantom Liberty, but totally let me know down below if this already exists in 2077. Also trying very hard to catch a more clear picture of whoever drives this second car, but looking at the distinctive yellow mask and color accents, it's possibly a skull mask, as this could be our very first image of some of the new faction enemies. In a different scene, there's a slightly clearer shot of this new enemy type that still features a skull mask and some tech upgrades around the helmet and the vest area. And of course, another third one, similarly equipped enemy in this assault scene of a possible faction compound. Whoever this faction may be, they definitely appear to be way more militarized and better equipped than most other enemies we fought with so far, maybe even compared to some of the Arasaka or NCPD forces. So much so that they have enough power to pose a real threat to the government of the NUSA itself. On the same note, you probably also noticed that the Mantis Blades just got a new finisher animation that looks much more brutal than before. We know from CDPR that an overhaul for melee combat is in the works for the next update, so what we're seeing right here might be a teaser of some of the new finisher animations. And if this means new cool animations for other cyber implants are in the works too, I'm definitely up for it. I'm even more intrigued by the boss fight we see towards the end of the trailer, and I'm not convinced that this is the final boss or the big baddie of Phantom Liberty, because it mostly looks like just a random side boss we should get to fight with. This one definitely reminds me of some of the cyber psychos we fought in the base game, which also featured similar exoskeletons and firing capabilities. So my question is, are we getting some more cyber psychosis in Phantom Liberty, or is this just a random boss from this new faction in Dogtown? Because these were one of my favorite things to hunt for Regina Jones in the base game, and would definitely sign up for even more new encounters like that. In any case, new faction enemies won't be the only new encounters to worry about, as the max stack have also properly awakened from the looks of it. This is the third or so shot we see of a full max stack team preparing to descend from their flying AVs. Unfortunately, their presence in the current version of the game is pretty anticlimactic, and would love if this was the way they spawn from now on in Phantom Liberty. Very close to that intro shot we got when we first started Cyberpunk, and also again in Edge Runners. It was one of the best scenes throughout the entire anime. This shot here definitely looks like Pacifica, judging by the buildings behind, which implies police no longer avoid the district anymore like how they do in the current version after the event of the expansion. A recurring theme throughout both trailers is that we're actually fighting both government agencies like the NCPD and even the Max Stack, as well as their new faction enemies, which makes me question what our role is exactly in the entire scheme of things, and what degree of control do we have over our decisions. In the trailer, Agent Reed mentions that burning Dogtown into the ground is a simple choice, and that statement got me thinking, do we get to make this choice ourselves, or is he talking about it in a more general sense? Because I really think V, and especially with Silverhand still in our heads, are not keen on helping the government after everything we've been through so far. Especially that we know that the current NUSA president was a former Militech CEO, like literally all previous presidents in the past 50 years at least, according to the in-game lore. An issue that Silverhand voices yet again in the second teaser, so it kinda gets me thinking, are we infiltrating for our own benefit, and are we getting something out of this whole ordeal? And on the same note, do we get to see one of Cyberpunk's most iconic character finally getting a proper scene? 2077 had Adam Smasher working for Arasaka. It would only make sense for Phantom Liberty to have its Militech counterpart, which is Morgan Blackhand. CDPR has kinda been going on and off that this character won't ever make it to 2077, but then they went on a full-on silence. There's also this scene in the new teaser that appears to suggest otherwise, that this is in fact Morgan Blackhand, and we might get to see him finally making an appearance. There's a collab scene that heavily implies that whatever this character is that we're seeing could be Morgan himself, so much in fact that some users pointed out a lot of odd similarities between the two characters. But I think what we're seeing right here is not him, but rather just a generic high military guy who might have had a connection with Blackhand at some point. At least that's my opinion. We know megacorps hire mercenaries all the time. There's even big corporations that are focused around just hiring mercenaries. So the dog tags in this case, the military implants, and everything else don't appear too uncommon to me, at least not too uncommon to make me think of such an iconic character like Blackhand himself. There's still many questions left unanswered that genuinely got me super excited for Phantom Liberty's story, more so than some of the features actually, like who is this mysterious new construct and how do we even get to see her in the first place? Also, is this woman indeed Rosalind? Because if it is, some data mined while trailers showed her with a completely different look, and yeah, that's still before the game came out, but it could very well be that this is an upgrade to her face and she is that person, or at the very least some kind of other high-ranking official. And if so, what's the reason behind the NUSA transport being shot down? Is it like an attempt on somebody's life from the new faction that's attacking the NUSA government, or is it coming from inside of it, as we're seeing some hints in some of the trailers so far? Totally looking forward to the expansion and a lot more content coming soon, and hopefully we're gonna get to see update 1.7 before the expansion comes out, but I would not keep my hopes too high, at least until next year. Who knows, maybe even January. This is pretty much it with the news. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.